Back to Fleet Plays Rule the Waves 3. China. So, I was very tired on Monday, and I really didn't have it in me to really get going as I would have liked to. And really give this week's play of Rule the Waves a good shake. So, I've decided that we're going to keep going today. Hence the plan here. So, without much further ado, let's get right into it. As best we can. So, when last we left off, things were a little bit weird. So we were 6 months away from getting our replacement battleship, which brings me up to a point where I'm happy with our numbers, since my 2 ships are better than the Japanese's 3. The problem is the Amagis. They are slow, but they're fairly tough. And without our 2 battle cruisers, we can't really fight them. But, in terms of everything else, we are still holding all the cards. We have more modern cruisers than they do, and will for the entire war. We still have more destroyers than they do, even if they are crash building a ton of war emergency builds. We still hold all the cards. We're building coastal submarines to really start harassing their trade. They really shouldn't have opened the submarine campaign because, yeah, that's not a game you want to play with me. I will just do it better than you. Anyway, going forwards. A raid on Japan's coast? What an excellent idea this is. Okay, our 3 modern light cruisers. We may as well bring another one along just for a lark. Just because we can. Right, let's go forwards. So if we're gonna raid up there. I've learned that going into there yields me no targets. I've learned that through multiple different things. If we go into that little bay, it basically yields a sweet bugger all. You've seen it. It gets us a corvette, if we're lucky, and we find very little else. So we're not going to do that this time. We're going, my brain would work. We're going to sail straight at the objective, and we're going to attempt to see if we can't really hit some merchant traffic. And obviously, once this is done, both of these will go onto YouTube, as, you know, we would do. Oh, by the way, folks, yeah, in case you don't know, the ShipShape fundraising website is now live. So please do go and check that out if you haven't already. It'll help all of us go to Japan, hopefully. Oh, we found something. What did we find? Hello. Ooh, 2 things. We found 2 things. Go up to 25 knots. Let's go. Meow. What? Oh, come on. Not again. Really? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not playing that game. Yeah, if the Japanese are going to use the battle cruisers like that, I just can't commit my cruisers to action. It's just not something I can do. They'll just see off my cruising forces every single time. Even my pair of 7-inch armed scout cruisers, they can run. And to be fair, all of my modern cruisers can run. They're all capable of 25 knots. But it's not really going to help as much. Those 2 battle cruisers are a massive problem. And they had their 3 battleships at sea. Yeah, no, I'm not playing that game. Also, we're apparently blockaded, and the French want to go to war with us. That is not okay. France, we have no quarrel with you. Why do you want to fight us? I have no quarrel with you, France. Literally none. Please stop being angry. I beg. Right. Okay. I think... So I've got a pair of battle cruisers building. But... Can't help but wonder... This design... If we drop the armor belt down to about 5 inches... Keep the belt extended, but drop the upper belt. Keep the deck armor as is. Arm the turrets that way, and drop the turret tops down a bit. And lower the secondary guns down. Up the speed to 30 knots. 17,000. That's still only 200 off a full-on battle cruiser. Not worth it. Actually, let me look at our current battle cruiser design, because I know... Because we have our new battleships, which are the 13-inch armed battleships that we're planning to build. Which are those. And to be fair, most of their thing is how heavily protected they are to resist their own guns. I wonder... Because I don't want 12. No, that's... That is decent, but... Okay, that's fine. 5-inch guns in turrets, yeah, then 4-inch guns in casemates. That's fine. But... No. It's fine. There we go, that's it. Okay. So. Right. So, we have triples, which we do have. Now, for me to authorize something like an armored cruiser, it needs to be pretty damn quick. Can I have doubles? Will it let me have doubles? Hang on. There we go. Yeah, so we're gonna have... There we go. That's better. That gives me a 12-gun 6-inch broadside. Then, if we carry the 9-inch mounts as triples, which we can do... And then... do 31 knots. Speed-focused engines. 4-inch guns as tertiaries. Still 2,000 cost. And at that point, what am I getting? I'm basically getting a glorified 29 knots. That's better, but it's still not ideal. And it can't even resist its own guns. Short range. The cost differential just doesn't make any sense. Why would I build that for that when I can basically take this design, run it through the printer, give it thicker armor, better turret protection, better turret roof armor, and then basically add 2 triple 12-inch guns and get that for 500 more a month. Which is 300 more than our current battle cruisers. It makes no goddamn sense. None. Actually. Hang on, boys. Fleet's doing a big thing. If I remove the aft centerline mount, which I can do, 13-inch guns, yeah. Then I do that, then I do that. And then I do that. That gives me 9 guns. Okay. Alright, and that gives me just enough protection again. Alright, okay, so a battle cruiser of that size is not only possible, but it's possible to... There we go. That'll do. Right, okay, get rid of the midships turret. Yep. There we go. That'll do. That's perfect. So 28 knots. Sorry, not speed-focused engines. 28 knots. Don't need that much armor on the secondaries. I'll carry 4-inch guns instead. Jesus H. Christ, you do not need that much extended belt, and you definitely don't need that much upper belt. Good gravy, people. Jesus H. Christ. So please stop. Won't somebody think of the children? That will do very nicely indeed. Because what that gives me, and actually what I'm going to do is, let's have a look. So, if I give it 11 inches of, sorry, if I give it 10.5 inches of belt armor, it gives it a decent long range immunity zone. It doesn't need more than 2 inches of deck armor, which means turret tops can be 2.5 there. That gives a decent level of protection to the ship. Just about, and yeah, only 1 inch on the extended deck, which means I can give it 11 inches of... Actually, no, we'll give it a slight strake on the upper belt, just a splinter-proof upper belt. That's fine. And that is a 24,000-ton battle cruiser with 9 13-inch guns in 3 triple turrets doing 28 knots. That's what you call a future-proof design. That oh. Okay, right. Drop the torpedo protection down a little bit. There we go. Okay, we will not have torpedo defense. And I can hear some of you screaming, but look. Politely, I need a ship like that. And I am willing to actually, okay, we can add 1 ship. Several battleships and supporting forces. Yeah, give me another light cruiser. Since I have plenty of my modern destroyers out, and I have my 1 battleship. So, the idea is I want to try and lure in and kill the battle cruisers of the Japanese Navy if I can. Because here's the thing. They don't have the screen I do. I don't have the screen. My gunnery's a bit better than theirs, I think. I have thicker armor. That is a perfect position. I think I can launch a flotilla attack with my destroyers. I'm going to drop to normal so I can handle that better. They are turning away. That's fine. We'll hold a steady course. We can bring, I think it's, with our 3 turrets, we can bring 8 12-inch guns to bear on the broadside. We do take hits on the belt extended and some of the little bits, but overall, But okay, the Uwami, like I said, it doesn't have the same level of protection that we do, and it has weaker guns than we do. So our 12-inch hits will do more to it than it does to us. Oh, there go our destroyers. Oh, come on, lads. Go on, lads. Get a torpedo attack. Go on, do it. Do it to them. Actually, okay, never mind. I'm gonna call back the destroyers because they are taking a bit of a beating doing it, but at this sort of long range, sort of longish range gunnery, especially for this period, my ship with its much better, especially since I'm in a stern chase now, I can bring 5 guns to bear astern. Well, they can bring 5 guns to bear forward, but I have the 12-inch guns and they have the 11-inch guns, and those 11-inch guns are the things that I think are going to let them down, because the 12-inch gun is just the better weapon. I think, is that, yeah, forward 3 is disabled. We need to try and bring that back into action if we can. One of the things I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to pull my forces ahead, which I have now done. So what I can now do is, now that I've done that, I'm going to cross their T in a limited manner. We're going to, again, release our destroyers to do that flotilla attack. Oh, forward turret now back in action. So we can unleash a few salvos from that. They are now trying to run. That's not surprising. I think that is the Japanese... I think that is the Japanese battle cruisers, which... Yeah, at that point, that is 5... That is 5 on 1, and I think they do have Japan's new 12-inch guns that the battleships just don't have. And to be fair, luring them in was always the objective. Luring... Oh, no, they don't. They have the 11-inch guns. So, luring in the Amagis to try and use my much larger force of destroyers to unleash a torpedo attack was kind of always the way I had planned for this to go. We do have 2 of our guns disabled. The Amagis are fairly tough, but they are running in against destroyers. They really need to turn away. That is really not where they want to be. And also, politely, they really don't want to be in a shouting in a straight up slugging match against. Yes, she is the only Chinese dreadnought, but she is a full-on dreadnought battleship, and they are battle cruisers. Despite their heightened levels of protection, at the end of the day, I don't know if it will avail them much. Come on, get a torpedo away. Come on, Lucian, get a torpedo away. Come on, do it. Oh, you torpedoed the little destroyer. That's annoying. Okay, that's fine. Right, okay. The Japanese battle cruisers are turning away. That's fine. Are they... Is she significantly slowed? I think she might be, actually. Did we land a 12-inch shell to the boiler rooms? I think we might have. The first gunnery is absolutely first class. Like, just absolutely first class. No surprise there at all. It's kind of funny that this is something that I can do with her because of how heavily protected she is, because she's actually is arranged for the stern chase, which she is arranged to do. She's arranged to give fire on that stern chase. That's what she's arranged to do. She's got the firepower for it. She's just landed a hit onto Owami, causing her to fall out of line. The Congos really don't want to be playing this game because, yes, if they close her down, they might get kills, but they are even less heavily protected than the other ship, and if they really do close Sue the first down, she will start hitting them. And that is really not where they want to be right now, especially not with the cruisers around. Because all those ships have torpedoes, and it only takes one lucky hit, probably to send one of those Congos to the bottom. Especially in that sort of a stern chase, that is really not what you want. Problem is our destroyers have run out of fuel, despite their increased range, which I did plan on. In a large action like this, they can run out of fuel. But again, you really don't want to be doing this where you're closing down to kind of one-on-one ranges and giving Sun the first gun crews a good shot at you. Especially when you're as lightly armoured as the Congos are, and you can only really bring 4 guns to bear against 5. It's really not ideal. I'm going to switch to the unengaged side. And then I'm going to pull a feint on them. I'm going to turn. We're going to present a full broadside for a second, give them a taste of the front guns, and then we're going to turn around again. That causes them to break off. It frees our cruisers for a second. And that means we can escape inside the safety of our minefields towards Shanghai, which was part of the whole plan. Zhu the First will continue to engage the enemy, and actually I'm going to very quickly give a decent order, so 1 second. We're going to order the disengagement as best we can. We are headed for Shanghai port. That is our objective. That is our goal. I'm not stupid enough to not bring as much of the fleet home as I can. Gunnery, yeah, Zhu the First's gunnery is actually proving to be very, very good indeed. They are turning around. I think they are. Yeah, I think they're trying to engage the battery rather than engaging us, which is absolutely fine. It enables us to make a getaway. Fuxing, despite her damage, is still capable of making 17 knots, which is enough to make a getaway. I am just going to turn around quickly to force the Congos to break off from their pursuit as best I can. Give them a line engagement for just a second, and then we're going to turn around, slip behind the island. Hopefully Fuxing is okay. Yes, she is. Desk is falling. She's going to be able to limp away. The Congos are not going to want to pursue into potential minefields. And when darkness falls, Fuxing should be able to slip through the islands, past the minefields, and into harbour. This is basically a case where, despite all the odds, the Imperial Chinese Navy has once again proven that even when outnumbered, we can and will bring the fight to the Japanese Navy and really kind of humiliate them. 1 battleship took on 3 fairly successfully. And in 6 months, I will have another battleship. Now they're having fun with the battery, which is you enjoy that, Japan. You have fun with that battery. You have fun with that, Japan. Go on, you enjoy yourself. Don't let me stop you. There we go. Then go to the right a bit. Then round to the left a bit. There you go, that's it. Jolly good. Yep, there we go. We're just steadily bringing these boys home on minimum fuel. I think we lost a couple of destroyers. And we inflicted fairly heavy damage on the... Yeah, they technically won. But the fact that we stood fight and didn't lose our 1 battleship when we were outnumbered 5-1... I'm not sure what that says about the Japanese. There we go. Okay, an additional war loan has been authorized by Parliament. Jolly good. Oh, I didn't mean to build an airbase there, but I shall keep it. I meant to build an airship base. But okay, that's fine. If I do have an airbase, then I will acquire aircraft. . Yep. No torpedo bombers yet. No naval patrol aircraft yet. Any float plane scouts yet? No, no float plane scouts. But we can have fighters. So we will add a air unit of 8 aircraft. Well, we will do when we get our fighters. Because we have to buy aircraft, we can't build them, which is annoying. Ah, good. A cruiser action. The unfortunate problem is that I suspect... Okay, yeah, they're trying to force my cruisers to run into their battle cruisers and be sunk, and I'm just not playing that game. At all. I'm just not playing. I absolutely refuse. Crank up to 25 knots. No, we're not. I'm not playing that game. Because I bet you that will be their battle cruisers. Any money. Luckily, we have our airships now. I need I definitely need an airship base there, and I definitely need one in Kuryu as well, because we need to massively expand the range of those airships. To cover the various areas that we need covering, because that is our key here. If we have reconnaissance and they don't, that is massive. China cannot into aircraft apparently, but China can into rigid airship. I don't know. Did we hire Graf von Zeppelin to come over here and build Zeppelins for us? Like, did Hugo Echner emigrate to China? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that was not worth. Yeah, it was an armored cruiser, but I didn't want to take the risk. No, he's been doing okay so far, that gentleman, so he can stay. Okay, Japan has a float plane scout. No, not yet. I don't want to create that yet, simply because. Did we buy the license? Yes, we did. Okay, and I want to look and see float plane scouts. Are there any? Yes. Okay, so the Japanese are developing a float plane scout. We can't buy the license for that because there's no way they'd let us have it. But we are going to have fighters, which is good. Okay. Attack on enemy coastal shipping. All right. Oh, okay. Convoy attack. Now, this is something we are very good. Okay. Another convoy attack. Brilliant. Yeah, and also this guy's been giving me these decisions to add one ship more and more. So, why wouldn't I? He's been an overall very good admiral. This gives me 2 of my fastest cruisers and 1 of my least fast cruisers. But what it does mean, provided the convoy isn't protected by the... Oh, please tell me that's armored cruisers and not battle cruisers. I think it's an armored cruiser. It looks like an armored cruiser. It's not an armored cruiser. Okay, alright. We will play this by the book. Right, okay. We will go to 27 knots. It will leave 1 of our cruisers behind, but it will at least mean that we can outrun the... Well, to be fair, we have the same speed. Is she content to... She is. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to somehow get her to... So go like that. Yeah, then we hook around inside her. She's distracted by the destroyers. There we go. Yeah, okay, she needs to keep a distance because we do have destroyers with us. We can't afford to take big hits. If we stay at a fairly decent distance, we can... If she's among the merchants, then we can't. And it's no good. We can't get past her to the merchants, no matter how much we try. Unless she does something stupid, like goes, you know, right past the other side of the convoy and lets me come in amongst. Okay. To be fair, that's literally all the opening I needed. That's all the opening I needed to sink a few merchies. That's all I needed. Yep, that's all that is literally all I needed, was that opening. ask the destroyers to do a flotilla attack just to make sure Amagi turns away. Yeah, they're going to pay for it, but it will mean that Amagi will turn away and give me the lead I need to actually break away. Yeah, that one mistake of her going to the other side of that convoy just... Yeah, that just cost... Yeah, that just cost the Japanese that convoy. Well, enough of it to class it as a victory for me. That's what these modern 25-knot cruisers enable me to. They enable me to do things like that. Whereas if I had a fleet of older 21-knot cruisers, I just wouldn't be able to do that. And also, both the destroyers actually survived. We took heavy damage doing it to 2 of the destroyers, and we actually sank one of the Japanese destroyers. So, we won that. Which... No. This is a land war. This is a land war. And... Yeah, this is a land war. Yes, honestly, it's fine. You can have your insightful things. That's fine. That's not a problem. How are we doing for subs? We're nearly at the point where we'll have a sub commissioning every month. And once that happens, they will rapidly proliferate. And we'll be able to inflict a submerged blockade of the Japanese home islands. We'll use prize rules so that we don't do things like damage, especially with France being the way it is. We will not really attempt to antagonize the neutrals. It's not worth it. So the Japanese are still don't have the third Amagi. They are building their modern cruiser force, and in fact, I'm hoping they finish it, because I would absolutely love a chance to blow it to Kingdom Come. Just wouldn't say no to that at all. So... yeah. There we go, that's that. Britain and Germany are knocking 7 bells out of each other with an early fleet of Dreadnought battleships. But neither side has... the British do have a massive advantage in both Dreadnought numbers and what they are, although they only have 1 proper battle cruiser. Well, actually, both sides only have 1 battle cruiser, really. The German Dreadnoughts are definitely the worst. They do have the Worth and the Worth sister ship. But the British have 2 relatively fast battleships and 2 ships with... Yeah, those are just going to absolutely dominate. The French have 1 battleship with 14-inch guns. They have 1 relatively scary battle cruiser, but nothing else besides that. The Russians have built a pair of relatively interesting 23-knot dreadnoughts with a 3rd building, and they've got more on the slips. They have some interesting early battle cruisers, and then a pair of fairly powerful 14-inch armed ships. And they still retain a sizable fleet of pre-dreadnoughts to back them up. Japan we know all about. Spain has managed to enter the dreadnought era fairly credibly, actually, with a decent set of... And again, they've adopted the fact that their ships might not be the best in terms of armament or armor, but they are fast enough to run away from anything that they can't fight. Now, I'm basically waiting for the Ping Yuan to finish. Once she's done... we'll be resuming construction on the destroyers. And that will enable us to, Apparently the enemy only have 2 battleships available. Did one of them spring a, failed valve or something? It's possible. Nah, none of those ships are fast enough. Yeah, that is the majority of the thing. The other ships in dry dock, that's fine. Do we have any more destroyers we can add? Yes, we do. Fantastic. Actually, no, they're all on reserve. And they're doing important jobs. So that's the majority of the Chinese fleet. That's fine. It is what it is. We will make do with what we have, because that's what we have. Right. So, I don't know what we're up against. That... That to me... That's Kinagasa. That's 2 ships coming at me dead on. That to me screams the enemy's battle cruisers. No, it's not. Wait, there are only 2... There are only 2 Japanese battleships present at this engagement? Okay, that's, very interesting of them. Why are there only 2 Japanese battleships present? I don't have the... let me just keep an eye on that. She's taken 2 heavy hits, but... otherwise, she's absolutely fine. I don't really have it in me to go for a stern chase, sadly. Oh, turn. Don't let them dictate it. Why would you close me? I have the thicker protection and the bigger guns. Why, in the name of all that is holy, would you, in that particular situation, choose to close me? What admiral in their right mind says, that ship has bigger guns and thicker armor, I will close it down? The only ship that's actually a match for me is Iwami. And even then, she's still slightly more weakly protected. And again, she still has these smaller 11-inch guns. If I catch Congo one-on-one with Sun the First, that is a death. That is a very rapid death by 12-inch gunfire. There's Amagi. I wondered if she was going to show up. Seems like her sister was very badly damaged in the engagement that we fought. Okay, we're in a stern chase. So, flotilla attack. Release the destroyers. They should now turn around and... oh, that's a perfect position. That is a perfect... go on, lads. Go on, lads. Go on, lads. Okay, don't do yourselves too much mischief, boys. That's it. Don't do yourself too much mischief. We do need to preserve you. We can't have you dying unnecessarily. So there we go. Keep pouring salvos in. At longer range, the fight does absolutely benefit me. Just absolutely. The 12-inch guns are better guns. They hit harder. My armor is resistant to their 11-inch shell fire. They aren't resistant to mine. Oh, wait, hang on. Submerged torpedo flat. That's not good. That is not good. Okay. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We are going to turn and we're going to do a stern chase back to Tsingtao. And the reason for this is that submerged torpedo flat hit, that can drag ships down. I am not going to let that happen. So we're gonna order the destroyers to do a flotilla attack. Are they stupid enough to keep coming on? Oh, they are. Go on, boys, get him. Go on, boys. Go on, lads. That's it. Oh, hang on. There you go. All right, boys, you've done your job. That just allowed me enough of a break to actually break away. Which is fine, that's what I wanted to do. Just break away towards Tsingtao. Yep, that's... See this? This is exactly why I wanted to break away. Because those torpedo flat hits, they can rapidly progress. Yep. Didn't think they would. Yes. It'll have to be... we have a good relationship with the US. Let's actually establish a relation with the US. So 3 months. So yeah, we're both going to get both of our battleships back into service from those very, very heavy... from the very, very damage that Sun the First suffered, and Ping Yuen will come in 3 months' time. And we are 4 months away from having the first of our submarines in the fleet. But with no battleships, we have to be very careful what fights we pick. I mean, if it's a fight close to land, then I'm fairly confident taking it. Because if the worst comes to worst, I can just crank up to 25. Even if it is the enemy battlecruisers, I can literally crank up to 25 knots and just go... Yep, So see, like this. If it is this case, I can just crank up to 25 knots, put them behind me, and just go, we are not here. Because they don't have the speed advantage to overhaul us. That's what these 25 knots... Because the Japanese built their cruisers to be able to do 25 knots... Battle cruisers, sorry, to be able to do 25 knots... They don't have the speed, the firepower... to be able to just basically go, aha, yes, we are chasing you. You will have this, that, and the other, and this will happen. So, if it's cruiser actions, I can basically take them with the knowledge that running is basically always an option. Oh, the Germans just lost their only... That's honestly kind of sad for them. RIP for Germany's only battle cruiser, I guess. How are we doing for losses during this conflict? So, we lost one of our Dreadnoughts at the start. And two of our battleships, one of our destroyers. Then we gradually lost some more destroyers and one light cruiser. Although she was sunk on the... because it's technically a different battle. Because it's technically a different day. And then we've lost 3 destroyers since then. So overall, the battles do seem to favour us. Remember, they did lose one of the Congos at that surprise attack, so it brought the numbers down to actually be fairly even. That cruiser action is very much in their territory. It's... I'm really not keen on it. I'm probably going to break for the Pacific at the first opportunity, just because in the event of damage, it's not... And that looks like 2 ships in column. They look big. That, to me, screams the Amagis. And I'll bet you it is the Amagis as well. So, no, I'm not... That's way too close to Japan. Even in an age prior to air bases being proliferation and the ability for aircraft to really influence naval conflicts, the proliferation of those air bases is not... Yeah, it's not really something that I'm that confident in. There we go. Right, okay, fantastic. So, yep. Yep, as I suspected, it was the Amagis. We don't take those fights. No, he's doing a good job. God damn it, army. Yeah, that new Japanese destroyer is something else. I mean, so are mine, to be fair. My new destroyers are very heavily armed, and will have a 6-torpedo broadside when they enter the fleet. But that's the whole thing, when they enter the fleet. We may get our pair of battle cruisers, and those ships will absolutely smoke the Amagis, I think. As long as they can keep at range and use their big 12-inch guns, they should absolutely deal devastating damage to the Amagis. Then we need to focus on building destroyers and on merchant cruisers and submarines to basically redress the balance. Now, I am looking at some of my older armoured cruisers, and I am getting some ideas here. So, I'm looking at them, and now, with speed-focused engines, I can get 20 knots out of this thing. Now, here's what I'm thinking. That ship would only cost 934 to build. That is less than a lot of my modern cruisers. And I wonder, I'm just thinking. Now. Now that. Now that would give me decent level of range. So I should drop it down to 9-inch guns, which I have an even better supply. And short range would make them somewhat useful. Medium range make them, but still, that is somewhat cheaper. If I remove the superimposed gun and add triples instead, that gives me a bit more space. We don't have any extended guns. We don't have all or nothing yet. So this design really doesn't work. Looking for the pocket cruiser, the ideal sort of... Wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Just hold the phone a second. Now, just a minute. Hang on. Let me just think for a second. Now... Now... Hang on. Needs to be able to catch the latest and greatest enemy light cruisers, right? Because no one else will be building armored cruisers. It needs to be able to run from enemy battle cruisers, which it can do. It needs to be able to fight them in a relatively effective manner. And it needs to be relatively cheap to build. It ideally only needs to be resistant to 6-inch shell fire, because it's not looking to pick a fight with anything bigger than an enemy light cruiser. So, in theory, I'm thinking here. Okay, yeah, cost comes down. 29 knots, medium range. Yeah. 7-inch guns. It's fine. Speed-focused engines. Remove the midships mount. Give me triples instead. That cuts tonnage down yet for... So that gives me a decent ship for hunting... For hunting down enemy ships with incredible amounts of speed, but a decent level of firepower, and it's not significantly more expensive than my light cruisers. By George. I think I've got it. I think I found a role for the armored cruiser. In the era of the battle cruiser. But it has to be significantly less expensive than the battle cruiser it is going to work alongside / replace. And by being 1,000 less expensive, it is that. And it's only 500 more expensive than the most modern light cruisers we're building. That works. That really works. Okay, so we did a convoy attack, and now we're ambushing an enemy force. Wow, so did we wipe out that force? Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's one thing to have, like, AA directors be bad, or other things, but... yeah, having our main director go wrong... that's not exactly something we can hide from / not have fixed very, 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 very quickly. Okay. Alright. Okay. So we just sink 2 ships, and we have another force operating somewhere. Where? Oh, hang on. Are they... oh, are they with us directly? Oh, they are. Okay. Yes, they are with us directly, and they are supporting us, and they have... and they can keep up if we need to run. So, okay, let's go towards there. Give me 20 knots. We are a 25 knot force, so we can do 20 knots, and that will enable us to close fairly rapidly. Okay, let's start our sweep to find... okay, what is that? That does not look like a... enemy warship. That looks like an enemy merchant. So let's go and get... yep, that is an enemy merchant. Hell? What is that? Ah, it's an enemy, it's an enemy armored cruiser. And politely, because of how slow she is, she can basically be disregarded. I don't even have to fight her. I can just not be bothered. Like, what are you gonna do? Chase me? You don't have the range. Or the speed. What are you gonna do? No, seriously, what are you gonna do? Like, at that point, you may as well not have sorted, because you can't... even if I'm doing 20 knots, you can't chase me! You are not fast enough! Quite literally, you are not fast enough. And there we go. That's the small... okay, there we go. 2 ships sunk. Hello, Mighty Oceans of the Fleet. Hello, Timu. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, there we go. We achieved our objective. We will hang around while survivors are rescued, and then we're going home. I see no reason to risk an engagement when we've achieved our objective. And we have done so... oh, unless that's another merchant. Which I think it... nope, it's a corvette, but he's gonna die anyway. Come here, my child. Come here. Please do not resist. Come on. That's it. There you go. Please, please, please do not resist. Come on. Come on. There you go. And... got him. Oh, another one. Hey, buddy. Hello, big guy. How you doing? Yeah, you alright over there? Yeah, of course you are. Hey, buddy boy. Just blow past him with all the grace and elegance of a 10-story building. And I think that's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think we've done okay there. Not too shabby. Japanese annoying you again? Yeah, they are. This is the third Sino-Japanese war, but it's the second solo war between just me and China. Sorry, between me and Japan. And yeah, they are. But put it this way. My one battleship that's left after the surprise attack they did. Well, first of all, they lost a Dreadnought battleship doing the surprise attack for the loss of one of mine, so we traded. And they didn't achieve anything else besides that. They can't fight. They can't decisively put down one battleship with 3. So take from that what you will. I'm about to get a second battleship into the fleet. And 2 battle cruisers are about a year and a year and a half away, respectively, from completion. And the first of the submarines are starting to come online, which at the rate of 1 or 2 a month coming into the fleet, will gradually start to squeeze Japan rather aggressively. Also, they just have no counter to my light cruisers at all. No. Nope, not close enough to my bases. That is close enough to my bases, though. I'll happily take that engagement. Oh, never mind. They didn't. They can't come out to fight. Yep, this is okay. You guys gotta come out and fight or not? Okay, you are gonna come out and fight there. All right, so we have three light cruisers. These are the they're the modern ones. Fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. There we go. Right. Okay. I've also come up with almost what I like to call a Chinese Hawkins alike, kind of. I return to the concept of the larger cruiser without, honestly, for kind of the same reasons that we came up with the whole concept of the Hawkins historically. Because it needs to be significantly cheaper than a battle cruiser, so that it's not, you know, taking funds away from them. And it can't be too much more expensive than the ships it's designed to kill, but it should be powerful enough to reliably kill them. And that's kind of what I'm making. I'll show you the design in a minute once it's finished working through the process to be worked up for construction. And we do also have a battle cruiser that I'm thinking of... Where are they? Can I have some reports? Pretty please? Have they gone north? We don't know. We will go have a look. Give me 20 knots. Give me 20 knots of speed. There we go. There we go. Oh, hang on. Oh. Okay, never mind. Give me 25 knots of speed. That's the 2 Japanese battle cruisers. Right, turn tail, run like a stag. There's one thing, though. We have destroyers. You don't. So I'm just going to send my destroyers to say hi to you. And please, by all means, do follow me through the cloud of destroyer torpedoes. I would very much like it if you did. Yeah, no. Didn't think so. Didn't think so. Did not think so. What's the point in having heavy ships if you don't even have, Are they really gonna attack ships as they're rescuing survivors? Actually, yes, of course they are. They're Japan. That's kind of what they do. Come on, destroyers, crank up to top speed. And now they're not going to find us because it's nighttime. Although they will try and blow something up on the shoreline, which, good luck to them, is all I will say. This is not going to be their finest moment, I would expect. Oh, scooch over to the right. A little bit. There we go. Oh, yeah. Ah, one destroyer gave the ultimate sacrifice. Salute the brave hero. Technical Japanese victory, but... Well, when the enemy has battle cruisers and you have normal cruisers, the goal at that point becomes to preserve force rather than win the battle. Because it kind of has to be. There's no other way around it. Right, I'm going to leave you on that screen for just a second. And in fact, actually, while I am waiting, I will show you... There we go. That's the new light armored cruiser that I have worked up as a killer of these new fast light cruisers everyone's building. What do you think? Those 2 long days just nearly broke me. Quite nearly. Yeah, it's a fairly nice name. There we go. Okay, battleship engagement. Honestly? No, I'm not going to take it. Because I've literally got my new battleship coming into the fleet, and I don't want to give them any chance to, you know, rub off the one ship I already have in service. Why? Why would I do that? Yeah, them having battle cruisers and me not having anything to match is very annoying. Okay. Well, we have to play keep away. We have to somehow, with 4 light cruisers, make those 2 battle cruisers not come through us to the convoy. Well, the destroyers are helpful. That is something. Okay, guys, keep your powder dry. We'll use you when we need you. Okay, so we've driven them off to the north. Keep maximum speed for when we need it. And make sure we keep them in sight so that we know what they're doing. They'll be back. I think. Oh, they're... Apparently, according to the airships, they're heading north. Yeah, and judging by the fact that I haven't encountered them, yeah, they are heading north. Maybe that's where I think the convoy is. I mean, if we're lucky, that's where they have gone completely. I'm not seeing any sign of them. And to be fair, in these narrow waters, that is the last place they would want to be. That's basically perfect positioning for my torpedo boats to really inflict the bad damage. And now it's turned to dusk. So, yeah, any hope of the Japanese actually... They came in with 2 battle cruisers and couldn't even break through a cordon of 4 light cruisers. That's, Oh, okay, so 20 knots. That's a shame. That is a shame, but never mind. So assign her to first battle division. That's fine. Okay, so that brings us back into not quite black, but it's close enough that I can just restart building some other things. Now the battle cruisers are coming into commission. The Japanese will have a 3rd. Yep, so the 3rd Japanese battle cruiser, 3rd of the Amagis has come in. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. They're building a new class of armored cruiser, but again, the whole point is they're building it's far too big. It's far too big. What it is, and it probably won't be fast enough to catch my new builds, which I'm building. So we're working on getting these new Highlung class ships into service. And given that armed merchant cruisers are a very good part of any armed merchant campaign. No, I don't want a liner. There we go. 4-inch guns. 1,500 tons. Oh, hang on. 2,000 tons? Yes, okay, that's fine. So that'll do. 16 knots. Actually, I'm going to go with 19 knots. Get a fast merchant freighter. That's fine. Because that means she will have a bit of a capability to run. Which is kind of what I want. Although I want reliable engines so they can stay out at sea for a while. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. So we will start gradually filtering these merchant ships into the fleet. And we really do need to start bringing in these, merchants into the fleet, because if we don't have them soon, we're going to start having problems. I also think I do need to look at possibly building an emergency corvette. I've no idea what Fupo means, though, funnily enough. No idea at all. Nope, that's definitely a post-war corvette. That's definitely a post-war corvette. There we go. That's a wartime corvette. Yep. So I want... Yeah, I will actually stop... Yeah, I'll stop building the armed merchant cruisers and the destroyers for a minute. And we'll get some of these Amoy-class corvettes into the fleet. Coastal Raid. I'm not so confident. Actually, then again, if it is just the Japanese armored cruisers, I'm fairly confident we can take this raid and walk away with a W. But we'll see how we go. This war may end up being much of a muchness, I expect. Oh, it's a nighttime raid with rain. The chances of us actually finding anything... Yeah, too. It's Chinese. It's not. And I'm not particularly fond of that statement, if I'm honest. Not a statement I really agree with. But if you think it's funny, then sure, go nuts. Yeah, finding anything in this weather is going to be next to impossible. Rain, middle of the night, visibility down to well, how to put this gently. The ships can barely see past the front of their bloody bows. Never mind anything else. The chances of finding anything in this weather are basically slim to none. Oh, that's the enemy hunting force, I expect. Please let it not be battle cruisers. It's not. So again, and that's Japan's last armored cruiser, actually. That's Japan's last armored cruiser, and it's... And this is a fight that is, 4-on-1. So, in this particular case, there is a medium merchant down there, but I know where he lives. In this particular case, I am going to fight and kill that armored cruiser. Because that will be a heavy warship casualty, and that will be something that we can write home with pride about to the Imperial government. Okay, there goes that. Fantastic. And now there is a merchant ship down there with our name on it. Oh, and we did sink 2 ships. Okay, I don't know what was the other ship we sank. Well, whatever it was, we'll add more to that tally. Speaking of, hello, Merchie! And he's dead. Yes, we will rescue those survivors who do not want to swim to the Japanese shoreline, which is right there. Oh, another unknown ship? Okay, what is... Oh, that's probably some of the destroyers that were in attendance to Kinugasa. But that's a W. That's a massive embarrassment for the Japanese. No, I'm not giving the army any money. I don't get those, Once those corvettes are in service, we can really start ramping up our protection of trade. I'll keep the old 500-ton destroyers on trade protection, because they are actually pretty good at it. But it will at least allow me to free up some of the older cruisers to release to raid. I mean, you know what? I could release the old battleships to raid, because their loss wouldn't really adversely affect me. But we'll see. Hoffman, hi, give me money. I can't give you money. I don't know how to give you money. I have no money to give. There we go. Give me another cruiser. That will do. Apparently there's supposed to be a battleship in this engagement? I mean, that would be weird if they did bring a battleship. Steady. That's a really bad night action, that is. Wait a minute. Hold on just a minute. That's not just any prize. That's, I think, is Japan's only light cruiser. Yep. And she's in the one place. What? Are you kidding me? A lucky magazine detonation? Are you absolutely serious? And so, that is just random luck. When it comes to a closing fight, I've got more guns than you do. And I'm better protected than you are. So when it comes down to it, mate, your first action is going to be your last. Yes, you managed to sink one of China's 2 scout cruisers. No. I need my fleet. I'm currently fighting the Japanese. I mean, the loss of one of my 2. Well, we killed her in the same way she killed one of my ships with a magazine detonation. Which is kind of embarrassing for the Imperial Japanese Navy. I mean, that's really quite embarrassing for the Imperial Japanese Navy. No, I'm not doing a Pepsi-style transfer of the fleet. It ain't happening. Besides, I'm not Soviet Russia. I have lines of credit. I am not destitute, and I definitely ain't bankrupt. It's technically a draw. Okay, she wasn't the more modern of the 2. Of the 7-inch armed scout cruisers. But she was still a fairly vital part of the fleet, and she was one of China's 2 most powerful cruisers. Yeah, 6-inch round went into the torpedo magazine and blew her sky high. And Oebi gets pelted with 5 and 3-inch hits. Yeah, there you go. So a 5-inch hit hits the submerged torpedo flat, and that blows her sky high. So literally the same thing that happened. But the thing is, and this is the funniest part of this whole endeavor. Oh, for the love of God. Not again. Right. Okay. Right then. This happens every single time. So I'm winning against Japan, things are going well, and this happened in the First War as well. The French join in, and I basically then have to sue for peace, because I can't do much of anything else at that point. I mean, literally, there's not much else I can do. Well, no, it won't be Communist China, because if I fail to keep the Imperial family on the throne, the campaign's over. Like, we will remain as the Imperial family, or the game will end. It's simple as that. There we go. No Communist China, Timu. So they've got to be coming here, surely, right? Japanese have basically been handed a 3W at this point by the French. which is very, very annoying. Because if the French battle fleet shows up, I basically just can't win. Oh no, now I'm sad. Well, no, why would you be sad? Communist China is bad. Like, why would you want Communist China? Imperial China was the legitimate form of the Chinese government. Opens fire at land target. Which land? Oh, of course, they're up there. Of course they're up there. Why wouldn't they be up there? Typical. Absolutely bloody typical. Of course, it's 2 bloody battle crew. Those Amagis are really annoying. I've been in China back in 1996. You poor sod. How many go to China? Poor sod. Yeah, that was their 2 battle cruisers and a light cruiser. That is... Okay, 4 corvettes have commissioned. Improved large seaplane carriers. No, we are not shipping arms to the... any British rebels. It's not happening. Okay, so give me... No, not Raider. Give me trade protection for those. Free up as many of the destroyers as we can. Build me 4 more of those. Replace them on the slips. And continue construction of the armed merchant cruiser. We're going to need it. I don't think we're going to be able to basically resist the French. The French do have 4 light cruisers in Southeast Asia. What they are, I don't quite know. What I do know, though, is that my forces facing off against the Japanese should be okay without the 2 oldest of my ships in terms of the modern cruisers I have. And I'll also send as muscle the 2 older battleships to back them up. They're not in the best nick, but they are still something that even a modern light cruiser can't really stand in a gunfight with. It's not going to do much good when a massive French fleet drops on my head, and I can see it coming now. It's passing through West Africa as we speak, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 months till it gets here. Basically, every chance I get, I basically need to sue for peace. And hope that whatever peace deal we get, since the terms are relatively even, will not be so bad. Give me 20 knots for now. I don't know what we're up against. Okay, so it's a pair of light cruisers. What are we looking at here? Davout class cruisers. Okay. They have 2 6-inch guns and 2 for 10 4-inch guns. They have a decent belt. We are better arranged in terms of main firepower, but they do have those big 6-inch guns. But in terms of a running gunfight, we should definitely get the better of it. Stay at range because we don't want to get into a torpedo drill. But in terms of a running gunfight, we have more guns. We have the ability to better, obviously, guide our shots in because we have more main guns to actually deal with that. They have 4-inch guns, but they can basically run. But I don't think the Davout class can basically fight us. Those big 6-inch guns could hurt in a stern chase. But I do at least know that we can stand and fight against the French cruisers in this area, at least 2 on 2. Drop down to cruising. I'm not going to bother in a chase. It's not worth it. If I can't catch them, then I can't catch them. And if they want to run, then they'll run. And there's sweet F all I can do about it. Still, we technically sunk as a destroyer, so it is technically a marginal victory. Okay, so... Yep, there's the blockade. That's really not surprising. That's really not surprising. Get me another armed merchant cruiser on the slips. The only thing I can hope to do is cause the Japanese government to collapse into revolution, which will mean that we'll be able to get some form of peace deal. At least that's my hope. It's not particularly viable or practical, but it's basically the only hope I've got. Well, we have to defend a convoy, so that basically means sticking to that convoy like glue. And denying the enemy the chance to close with it if they wish to, which I am absolutely going to do. They have to come through us to get to the convoy, and I absolutely do not intend to let that happen. We win this fight if that convoy lives. We don't have to kill their ships, so we shouldn't try to. Keep our stokers rested. Stay with the convoy. Keep on the seaward side of it, so that if they do, by some luck or happenstance, manage to actually close with the convoy, our cruisers will be able to rapidly respond. But I think we kept them away from the convoy till dusk. That means they lost it. They didn't get a chance to close and engage. I don't know if they ever actually sighted it. So at that point, we've technically won because they were not able to close with the convoy and engage it. Yeah, that is annoying. We've got our new light cruiser coming. We've got our battle cruisers coming. But the problem, of course, for me is the fact that well, it's you shouldn't be advanced. You should just be normal construction pace. 5 months away. Get those armed merchant cruisers into the fleet. Start raiding. Do the best we can. Here comes the French fleet. And at that point, unfortunately, we're basically a little bit snookered. No, I'm not taking a battleship engagement. They're there to... of course. Of course. We're basically gonna I'm basically being forced to lose 2 capital ships because the game has decided that I need to lose this war. Yep, that's the entire French battle line. Everything here is dead. Literally everything here is dead. Yeah, I'm going to lose 2 pre-Dreadnought battleships, which really doesn't matter in and of itself, but the loss of the 2 cruisers is absolutely going to sting. No. Yeah, we're gonna lose those ships. That's the entire French battle line that they currently have. And I'm going to lose those 2 cruisers as well, because I can't separate them to run, and they won't run. Yeah, that's just... Yeah. And that's the French battle cruisers. Best we can do now is hope to bloody run away and save the 2 cruisers if we can. Why would you turn around? Why would you turn around? Bloody hell. Yeah, that's good lord, that's terrible. Yeah, that. Yeah, I'm bloody firing him for that. Those ships should not have been at sea at all. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm not having... I need someone in charge of the South Pacific who actually knows what they're at. Okay, that's a decent gent. Yeah, there's basically nothing we can do at this point. I have to hope that there's several battleships. No, I can't defend the convoys from battleships. I just cannot. Enemy coastal raid. Some battleships. I can't fight battleships with light cruisers. No, honestly, yeah, the situation is desperate. Okay, considerably... Okay, yeah, the Japanese just took my battleships from me. Great. Right. Okay. So, Japanese are now up to 5 battleships with 1 more building, which wipes away the lead. All because the French joined the war. The French dogpiled that war and basically meant that I lost it. A war that I should have won, I lost because the French dogpiled in. A lead that I had built up over the Japanese was lost because the French dogpiled in. That's... feels good, man. It doesn't feel fucking good. The fuck are you talking about, you daft sod Halfman? Fucking... that's shit. That's basically all of the fucking work I've just done obliterated in a fucking second. Doesn't feel good. Fuck's sake, man. So, start again. Rebuild the fleet. Again. Oh, when my battle cruisers are 1 knot slower than they're supposed to be. Just great. That's perfect. That is. That's just peachy. France won. Yeah, France did win. Yeah, Timo, I haven't got round to the emotes yet, because I've got, you know, it's not really that important. God damn it. Okay, yeah, we absolutely need to build a set of... Honestly? So I've got a pair of battle cruisers, so that's something at least. And we do have some of our modern cruisers in the fleet, so that is something. No point. Right, okay, so the old armored cruisers go into mothball. The old protected cruisers go into mothball. And the older 25 knotters go into the reserves. Mothball, the 500 tonners. And reserve the 700 tonners. I need to scrape together as much money as I can to make sure that the battleship building program I'm about to embark on goes off without a hitch. Yep, absolutely. I will absolutely take that offer. Yeah, honestly, build railways. We need to catch Japan in terms of our Nope, I have the prestige. Send some of our oldest ships. I need the budget. Yeah, third-party ones outside of Twitch. Yeah, I need to get hold of that at some point, Timu, but I'll get around to that when I get around to it. Right. Well, tension is not low, you fucks. We just lost our 2 battleships, you bloody... Okay. It's fine. There you go. So the US gets Haiti. Nice. Well done. Everyone cheers. Okay. So we've got a pair of... Yes, raise the budget up, for goodness sake. Let me actually build more destroyers and the capital ships I need. I will build you 7 submarines, sir. Yes, let's see what torpedo bombers there are. Oh, Russian. Russians are pretty good friends with us. Yeah, we'll have some Russians. Okay, build ship. No, actually, no, build sub. There we go, coastal subs. 7 new boats. There you go. Have your 7 new boats. Yes. Yeah, that's actually got the longest range, so we'll buy the Russian one. It's a naval maritime patrol bomber. Good lord, this is not ideal at all. It's not great. It could be worse, but it could have been far better. We still only have 13-inch guns. That's the new battlecruiser we were going to build, but she'll have to actually stay here. And she's going to have to become the vanguard of a new iteration of Chinese battleships. I don't really have a choice. It'll have to do. It's not perfect, but it will have to do for now. That's fine, it'll do. It's not perfect. We'll probably get reliable engines out of it. Yeah, that'll do. Ting-Yuan class battleships. The next iteration on the... Give me my ship back. Thank you. Handle it discreetly. Yeah, actually, yeah. The Japanese will absolutely have their aggression noted. I'm not letting them get away with stuff. We will handle that discreetly and quietly, though. I don't want the Germans to come down on me like a ton of bricks. Even after the whole war they just lost. No thank you. If anyone's offering to sell old Dreadnoughts, I'll buy them. Well, 16-inch guns are good. That's fine. No, we can't build it yet, but we need to keep those designs on the slips. Sorry, on the books, so that when we do choose to build them, we can. No, thank you. I don't need that right now. I need to have a couple of years of just battleship construction. No, not right now. Actually, yeah, let me open up the Ting-Yuan. So it has three 333s. Could it have 3 twin 16s? It could have. It has no protection against its own guns at that point, but it would mean it could deal with ships that it's fighting, especially some of the older ships. So that could be something we could do. Just about. 6 16s could work, but it's not ideal. No, we won't work with that design. But what I will look at is a battle cruiser, because we can't protect against those guns anyway. But by creating a 26,000-ton battle cruiser, what we can do is create a 29 knot ship that absolutely can run around. Basically building Chinese renowns. In essence. There we go. Twin turrets. Orange. Actually, no. We're gonna drop down to 12 guns, but we're gonna go up to 5-inch mounts instead. There we go. No, we can have 4-inch mounts instead. There we go. Actually, no, we can have 5-inch mounts. Then have 10. Then add an odd centerline mount. So auto place. Add an odd centerline mount. And then that centerline mount can super fire over. Yeah, there we go. It can just be a midship. There we go. That's perfect. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. That'll do. Next iteration of Chinese battle cruiser. Perfect. It may reek of corruption, but honestly, I desperately need it. Right, okay. And actually, I do... Yep, so the last of the old armoured cruisers are going to be converted. They're going to get coal-fired turbines. And they're going to be No. No, it doesn't really help. So I have no conversion opportunities, which is annoying, so I can't really convert anything into a carrier. Which is annoying, but hey ho. Oh, let's have a look. Naval patrol aircraft. I was buying one, wasn't I? From the Russians, I believe. Oh, now we are. Jesus, that's a devastating ship. That's something, at least. Right. We absolutely... So I'm going to actually look at this armoured cruiser design again. And we're going to see if we can't improve it with the new technology we have now. So... It can probably just about carry those 8-inch guns I wanted it to carry originally. Slightly overweight. So we can drop the guns down. That'll do. Oh, perfect. There we go. Fantastic. And she's still probably going to be capable of doing what I wanted to do. I'll just halt construction on that quickly. There we go. No, thank you. Yes, if the Italian government wants to buy things off me, absolutely. Fantastic. Nope, don't need that yet. I need to look at the next iteration of Chinese battleships. And ideally, I need to look at ways to get away with building something that will absolutely knock the Japanese' socks off. To be fair, building what I'm building was basically the only way to get some new battleships into the fleet fairly sharpish. And it kind of had to be done. And another pair of ships will have to follow them to bring us up to 4 and to bring us within shouting distance of Japan. So 4 of our ships to 6 of theirs. But ideally, whatever we're building will have to leapfrog whatever the Japanese have built. That's just basically what we've got to do. We don't have a choice. I'm slotting in new destroyer construction wherever I can. Let me see that. Actually, let's do a fresh break from our old destroyer line. That's fine. That's relatively okay. We can have 2 torpedo tubes in a gun mount. That's fine, actually. That's okay. And give me a centerline superimposed mount aft. Just to give the destroyers some more bang when they're running away. That's fine. There we go. That'll do. Oh, oil fuel is no university available? Well, that's very nice to know. Wish I would have been told that before. Actually, no. Get rid of that. I'm going to use instead a pair of broadside swivel mounts to give them kind of a sting in the tail sort of vibe aft. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Fantastic. Yep. Take a month to work up for construction. 33 months. Well, that would be nice. No, yes, we absolutely will sell guns to people. Yes, we will see what the foreign markets offer in terms of new fighter designs. The Italian Caproni looks promising, with decent range and speed. Then again, it's made by Caproni. Hoffman, Chinese government should augment the tax rate by 35,000% now. They should. Because I need the money, because I just lost the 2 battleships I had to the Japanese. And while, yes, oh god, yes, inclined belt, that's massive. That's absolutely massive. No, thank you. I don't need more destroyers. I'm actually yes, put in international force. Yeah, there we go. Because that will actually boost tensions a bit. Don't think we'll end up going to war with the Germans, but it does raise tensions, which is fine. Okay, so now that we are actually, you know, now that we're doing things properly, we then look into the design of our latest iteration of battleships, and we go, okay. Right then, boys, this is what we're going to do. You're going to have an inclined armor belt. That means that you will be able to more easily resist the guns you are carrying. And we're just going to do that. And because it's a relatively cheap reworking of the design, that should be fine to keep it going. And yes, it might increase tension, but we need the budget. I need the budget. And like I say, it's all about making sure that we have a fresh battleship design ready to go at a moment's notice, which is basically what I need in order to make sure that we are ready to take the fight to the Japanese. No, I can't fit that in the budget. Send a gunboat to the African country. Oh. Oh, I see. Ah, hello, mister. If it'll let me, hang on. Admin role. Admin role. Hang on, if it'll let me. Chat. Hang on. Nope. Hang on. Let me just... Hi there, good buddy. Guess what? You're out of here. And he's gone. And he's gone. There we go. Send a gunboat to that African country. I was actually expecting to get a... Yeah, I am fairly certain that... Yeah, Oh. Oh, right. That's... we need to buy Spanish then. Actually, probably should buy American now that I think about it. It's range that I need. So Spanish. Yeah, so we will buy Spanish. There we go. And then we need torpedo bombers. That's the Japanese. So the Japanese one we're not going to get. The Italian one. We can get the Italian one. There we go. That's jolly good. Floatplane Scout, we don't have a license for. Oh, no, we do. We are actually getting that, which is fine. There we go. So we're going to got the license for those aircraft. And there we go. The new battleships are in the fleet. That is very good indeed. Right, okay. So what we now need to do is we need to look. So we've got our new dockyards about to be finished. There they go. New docks completed. Can't afford that right now, US. I need to go and look at my next class of battleships. So, open up our existing battleships at Ting-Yuen. So, 4,000 extra tons. I reckon we can actually get away just about with a... yeah, with a 3x3 16-inch armed ship. Yep, I think we can. With... Yeah, so, do we have all or nothing? We don't have all or nothing yet. So we can get... We'll get rid of upper belt, which is fine. We will drop to 12 4-inch guns in single mounts with the director. They will be dual purpose. We will have some light AA if we can get away with it. There we go. In order to save on weight, we'll have the superimposed mount be a twin. because that'll help us get away with that. Gun data. We can't resist our own guns. But, I promise you, I'd need about... If I get 3 inches of deck plating, that gives me a small immunity zone, which does mean at least that I can probably resist the smaller guns of other navies. And if they are in deck mounts, that's not too vulnerable to flashing away, so we'll have 2-inch guns in shielded open mounts, which buys me a little bit more protection to put on top of the turrets to prevent them from flash firing, which is fine. Can I get another inch of turret armor? No, I can't. Still, that gives me an 8 16-inch gun broadside, which is absolutely fantastic. Yes, we will absolutely build that ship. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I'll let them examine the ship. That's fine. That's not... I'm not too bothered. Go. So I'm going to commission those 2 ships immediately into the reserves. Just simply because I need the extra available funding. So they've got 2 destroyers I've commissioned into the Navy. Triple torpedo mounts, that's very nice indeed. 1 month away. Better rangefinders, and there we go. New battleship. And those 2 new battleships are now on the slips, bringing 8 16-inch gun broadsides to the fleet. And bringing us up to 4 battleships. And also, significantly, bringing us up to ships that, while yes, they are somewhat slower than the Japanese battleships they might fight against, they are significantly better armed. Meaning that once again, we've caught them up. They only have 1 new battlecruiser. Now, Kurama is a massive threat to ships like the, well, the Chenghangs can probably just about stand up and fight her. But given her 14-inch guns, while they can hurt her, she can also absolutely hurt them. We've got modern destroyers. But because of the age of some of our older cruisers, what we can do is we can look to refits of them. But I think, yeah, the old armoured cruisers do now need to go to the breakers. I think they've seen their last day. We'll keep the old cruisers in mothballs, that's fine. And keeping the battle cruisers active does allow us to keep an eye on things. The old 500-tonners can stay in mothballs for thingy defense work, and the 700-tonners are in reserve, that's fine. Put the old colonial gunboats in reserve. Actually, scrap the older gunboats, and we'll look into the design of a new class of cheap, not quite colonial corvette, but there we go. That's what I want. Perfect. Jesus, no wonder. Like, bloody hell. There we go. That'll do. There we go. And that makes it... What? Shouldn't have unit... Who's giving it unit machinery? It doesn't have unit machinery. What the heck? It doesn't have unit machinery. What is the game talking about? There. It doesn't have a director. What are you talking about? This game at times can be very funny. There we go. Perfect. And I can gradually phase in like a fleet of 4 of those ships. I plan to eventually get up to about 5 of those new corvettes. We don't... Hang on, I thought... Yeah, I thought we were actually getting a naval... Okay. We apparently are not getting a naval patrol aircraft like I thought we were. Yes, can I buy the license, please? Thank you. We will join an international squadron. It will raise tension, but it will at least give us an ability to... Okay, so that's good. While I have got that, we need to create a diminutive on our newest cruiser design in order to... So get rid of the port aft wing, get rid of the port wing. Give me an aft superimposed gun mount. There we go, that is fine. Inclined belt. Give me oil-fired machinery. Squeeze 30 knots out of the ship, and we'll call that the Le Yuen class ship. With a fire control director, 2 fire control positions, and increased elevation for those 6-inch guns. That will do fine. Actually, hang on, no. Give me a dual-purpose guns for those 3-inch guns. There we go, that will do fine. And we can start churning those out fairly quickly. All or nothing armor, that is absolutely first class. Yes, and that means I can start building these new light cruisers fairly rapidly. If I had had the luxury of being able to... So there we go, it's our new destroyer into the fleet, which is absolutely first class. I'm also then going to lay down 2 more of these corvettes because I don't want to be caught napping in wartime, and having corvettes is a very good way to avoid being caught napping early on in a conflict. So our 2 battleships are building. This is fantastic. And in fact, actually, while I'm looking at them, I'm going to have a look and I'm going to go, okay, if we speed focus your engines, if we give you an all or nothing armor deck, so we remove all of the extended belt armor, we remove the deck extended armor, what does that buy me in terms of speed? Because I'm thinking about my next class of battle cruiser, and it needs to be at least 29 knots. There we go. So that's my next class of battle cruiser, and I am also going to, because we do have a decent budget, going to build another of these new light cruisers in parallel. Yep, we will absolutely sell to Southeast Asian partners who wish to have ships from us, because that is absolutely... Yeah, no, Germany, I'm sorry. I would like to buy unit machinery, but I do not have the... Yeah, of course, the Dowager Empress can have a look. That's fine. There we go. Yes, actually, that will be very, very useful to us. Very, very useful indeed. So, there we go. No, honestly, yeah, if the Russians want Iceland, so be it. I'm not too bothered. That increases tensions with everyone else for them, but not with us, which is fine. Yes, absolutely. We'll absolutely sign an alliance with the US. The Americans are in town, and the Chinese ports are open to them. Jolly, jolly good. Yep, I will absolutely accept the construction of another one of those cruisers, and in fact I'll halt construction on the 2 other ships of that class in order to make sure that we get them. Okay, the Japanese and the Russians have gone to war with each other. This is good for us because both of those powers will knock 7 bells out of each other. Hopefully the Japanese fleet will lose a large number of capital ships, so doing this. Yes, if you want peace, arm for war. Give me the money, I will give you a fleet. Build railways. If you build railways, we will have more money. If we have more money, then I can do more things with it. Ah, yeah, we'll have a shooting competition. Hey, one of our battle cruisers won it. Fantastic. Right, okay. So open up the design for our newest battle cruiser, so it can take into account all the new things we've learned. I'm actually going to use the things that we do have to slightly increase the ship's belt protection, because that actually does give it a somewhat relatively... You're calling that a... Really? So it has to be weakly protected. Can I raise the deck at least? Will you let me do that? There. Honestly, that will give it an ability to at least resist some of the other guns it's expecting to fight at longer range. Ah, we can have purpose-built aircraft carriers. That is good. That is very, very good. I want at least a quartet of those. Yes, let's see what else is on the market, shall we? 1923, new US fighter. And they are our allies, so you know what, United States? Yes, I will buy the license of that aircraft from you, and we will build those new aircraft. Jolly, jolly good. Japan? No. Absolutely not. I don't care what you think. South Korea, yours? No, 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 no. Korea is a Chinese tributary and has always been so. The southern part is not quite under our direct control, but it will be at some point. Oh, wait, why didn't I let them steal it? So I could take it off them once this war with Russia of theirs is over and done with. And if we're allied with the US and Japan attacks us, that brings possibly brings the US in and the French in, which means that in any future war, the French won't be dogpiling against us, they'll be dogpiling for us. So the naval budget that we have is not perfect, but what it is enabling us to do is keep up with the Japanese in certain areas. Japanese have built up a fleet of modern cruisers, this is very true, but a lot of them are very small diminutives, not really that decent. They are 30 knots capable, they're not that great. I do want to look into, especially with the cost of building a modern battle cruiser now up to 3,000. I will have to build a pair of them, but I do want to re-look into my armored cruiser design, keep updating it, and keep looking at what we can do to... Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, that is pretty good, but I think... Again, it's kind of missing the point that I look for in ships of this type. So, a 4-inch inclined belt, which means it can resist its 8-inch guns. It only needs 2 inches on the turret top, and it really only needs a 2-inch deck. That's fine. It needs to be able to do 31 knots, so it can actually catch. No, we don't want... We want single-mounted 4-inch guns. 8 of them. In open mounts to provide us with some AA protection. And we want slightly more rounds per gun for the sort of long engagements I absolutely expect these ships to fight. I mean, honestly, there is actually an alternative here. I could go to 9-inch guns, which then gives me... They need a speed advantage. Actually, you know what? If I put it onto 8-inch guns, that gives me a knot of speed over the lighter ships, and which is pretty much one. And the conning tower really isn't needed. That then gives me these ships for 1,700, which is half the cost of a modern... Oh, we don't need... Okay, we don't need the tertiary battery either, which is going to help us a little bit. And that means I can probably shave a little bit more weight off the design and get it down to that much, which is absolutely beautiful. Korea belongs to the Proto-Finnic Holy Roman Khaganate. Let's put a real end to the Finno-Korean hyperwar for good. Sounds good to me as a Finn, I mean. You lads are on fire today. You lads are absolutely cooking in the chat. 9 new destroyers? Yeah, I can... Yeah, I can build 9 new destroyers. I mean, they'll probably have to be diminutives, which the president is probably not going to like, but I can absolutely do that. Give me a second, folks. I'll be back in just a tick. And I'm just going to think about what sort of destroyer I want to build. So it needs to be 700 tons. It needs to be a diminutive. Do we build a gunboat, or do we just give it poultry guns and cover it in as many torpedoes as it can? Torpedoes, I think. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So we'll get rid of the broadside swivel mount. And we will increase the tubes to... And we will add, actually, a third. Triple swivel mount. And that will mean that these ships are basically just going to be massive torpedo dumping, which is probably what I want anyway. Because I have gunboats. I have these, which are fairly decent all-round destroyers. And I have the things that succeeded them as well. So I have all-rounder destroyers, but I could absolutely do with some... yeah. You know what? I will buy those guns. That is a really good idea. We will actually look... No, not right now. I'm not going to buy modern bombers right now. Yes, you can look into that ship. That's fine. I'm not too bothered. Yes. Ah, we didn't quite win. Never mind. It's not so bad. No, not right now. No. Fighting a war with Germany is not really on my cards right now. Yeah, we will help the French root out the rebels because that will bring tensions down with France, which is what we want. Okay, the people build railways to increase the long-term prosperity of the nation. Why do the Germans want to fight me? I don't understand. Get the proposal. Yeah, take a lower budget and also pass some social reforms because that will keep, you know, the Qing in power. Which is good. Oh, that's very good. That will, No, we are not shipping rebel things to French rebels. Or anyone's rebels. Does Germany can bring a whole workable fleet near you? Well... They do have the Lantung Peninsula, so I wouldn't mind a chance to take that back, to tell you the truth. But... So, we have 47 fleet power, and that's our entire navy. The Germans can hold 100. There's no real way that we can stop the Germans appearing if they want to appear, sadly. If the Germans want to show up, then the Germans can show up, and there's very little we can do about it. Sadly. There we go. That'll do. Strengthen our navy. Be ready for anything. It takes us to a war warning with Germany, but... A war warning is not war. And it does give me the budget I need to bring forward some of my... No, we do not escalate tensions with Great Britain. That is really not a good idea. Yes, modern fire control for our ships. And yes, it will have a shooting competition. Excellent. Well done to the French. Right, okay, now that we are approaching a point where we're looking to bring our new battle cruisers into service, let's have a look at them and let's see what we can do here. So, we have 31,000 tons we can use. That gives me another knot of speed, and improved directors for the ships. Let's actually slap some medium AA on there, so we'll have 16 medium AA guns. And 15 light AA guns. And that will give me a 30-knot battle cruiser. Really? They can't even make 21 knots. That's fine. That's not a problem. We can work with it. Okay, there we go. Then we've got the new... Yes, let us see what the international market can offer us. The Italians again, coming in clutch with a brand new aircraft for us, which is absolutely lovely. Yep, lay down the first of our two new battle cruisers. No thank you. That's not really something I need. So that's the next of the... Yes, it will have a modern float plane scout. And our US alloy... Alloy? Alloy? US alloy? Alloy? Ally. Ally. Our US ally coming in clutch. And there we go. Another battle cruiser laid down. Which brings up to 4 and 4. And once those new cruisers are done, I want to look into building some purpose-built light carriers. Ideally, the most capable examples of the type we can get away with. Go. There we go. Signal mounts, 30 knots. Speed-focused engines to get us more tonnage for other things. A little bit of protection. And ideally carrying as... and what was it we can carry? Carry no more than 34 aircraft. Okay. That's fine. 30 aircraft split across 3 squadrons. That's not so bad, actually. Honestly, I don't really care. Having 5 4-inch guns per side is, you know, actually useful. There we go. Japan, stop it. Okay, so once that cruiser commissions, and it has done. No, we don't ship resources to things. We don't do that. There we go. Start building our first carrier. Okay, so there we go. So we've got these ships in service. So what we do as per usual is you go to 2nd Battle Division. Both of you do. And the 2 most modern battleships go to 1st Battle Division. Also, because they are 20-knot ships, they will dictate battle speed. We need a battle cruiser division, so we will create that now. New division. BC, 1st Battle Cruiser Division. We'll add those 2 battle cruisers to it. And as its commander... we've got a brilliant guy like... Yeah, we do. There we go. Rear Admiral. A brilliant Rear Admiral to lead it. He's going to need to be brilliant. So we need... Yeah, we need first Light Cruiser Division is supposed to be screened. So 1st Light Cruiser Division can be composed of... Actually, no, we'll leave that alone, as is. So they're mostly... So they're old. I think there's potential for them. We've got the new light cruisers coming in. We've got our destroyer fleet to a point where it's actually... We've got the mass in terms of screen to fight a war with the Japanese. We don't have the carriers. They have a bunch of heavy cruisers, but we can probably get around that by having cruiser killers. As in heavy cruisers that are going to kill light cruisers, but are going to be fast enough to run away from anything that they can't fight. Which is fine. And our cruisers are probably better than theirs, I think. So there we go. Let's keep it going. Yes. Given I'm going to put carriers into service, I probably do want... Oh, that is beautiful. That is absolutely first class. That is a decent range torpedo bomber. That is something worth having. No, handle it discreetly and quietly. We do not want the French to get all uppity, and they will get uppity. Yes. Prestige increase, lowers tension, and finally brings us off a war warning with Germany. There we go. Keep it up. There we go. Private shipbuilding is expanding. Okay, the French and the US have increased their security agreement. That is fantastic. I think we might end up at war with Germany. I will say, not without additional funding. If you want me to beat the Germans, I need additional funding. For a few things, basically. I need additional funding for more of the Chintai-class corvettes. Basically because when war starts, I want to be able to... yes. Bring tensions down a tad. There we go. That's fine. Right. Okay. Yes, I think the Spanish are evil. I think the Spanish are... I think the Spanish are, you know, I think the Philippines, you know, I think the Philippines is, you know, a very, very Chinese thing. Like, they used to have like, there used to be a tributary of us, and then the Spanish came in, they bullied the Philippines, and I think that's unfair. I think someone should do something. Yes. South American countries are now buying Chinese stuff earlier than expected. Right, okay. That's good. That helps with that. There we go. A diplomatic solution to the Balkans crisis. I know it's a little bit of a weird thing to see, but, well, kind of is something that we can see at times in the modern era. So there we go. Two new light cruisers, and then another light carrier laid down again, because that brings us up to 3 light carriers, which is very, very nice indeed. We've got the two more corvettes into the Navy. The Russians are about to war us. That would be a mistake if they did. I think that the war will not be against Russia or Germany. I think it'll be against Spain. I think the Spanish are absolutely the problem. And also, I think I want to look at a new class of large destroyer. So, we're going to get rid of the broadside rear Stinger mounts. And we're going to carry more torpedoes and be even faster. Being capable now of 35 knots. Basically, it's a breakthrough. Make sure to collide in the South China Sea. Make it a tradition. Oh, you're very funny. Japan, what have I told you? No, you are not replacing the brilliant admiral in command of the battlecruiser squadron. Do you have any idea how much time it took to put him where he is? Yes, I will actually buy a medium bomber. Yes, the US Grumman Bolt. What an idea. And what a name for an aircraft, the Grumman Bolt. I guess you could say the horse is bolted on that one, boys. What? No. The Navy is loyal to the Dowager Empress. Oh, boy. Well, various parts of the nation are in revolt. What? Who is in revolt? Wait. Oh! The ports that are not owned by me are in revolt. and the ones that I own are not. That's... okay, that's hysterical. Yep, absolutely. Not now. Actually, yes, we probably should, because I think our fighters are American, aren't they? We've got our current aircraft. Actually, no, we'll stick with what we've got already. So, war with Russia. What does Russia have in the Far East? Okay, mobilize. Put the cruisers to raid, because they are... Actually, no, put the oldest cruisers to... So you guys will protect trade. The older destroyers will also protect trade. As will the large number of new gunboats we have built. The next thing that we need to do is we need to look into building air bases. Hang on. No. Hang on. And then we need to expand our air bases as well. Gensan Air Base in particular needs to be massively beefed up. Because we need that to help us with that. Tsingtao doesn't have an airbase, but we'll get to that. So we have 12 months until our new battle cruisers commission, which will be good. That'll bring us to 4 battleships and 4 battle cruisers. Civil War? Nope, it was just an uprising that we put down. The Chinese economy has improved so much. We actually have enough money to put towards the Navy now. Without, you know, we're able to feed the people and actually put money towards the Navy. We're surpassing the Spanish. Like, this is the thing. If you leave China alone and you let it cook, you can actually get to a point where things are like this, where I'm fielding a fleet of ships that's very effective. I mean, right, I have ships now with 16-inch guns in the fleet. The only thing we're trying to get is battle cruisers with 16-inch guns into the fleet. And we have ships in the Far East now. And the US will also be able to join us. I've not really looked at the US Navy, so let's have a look. What has our ally got? So the Nebraskas, I think, were their first Dreadnoughts. Yes, they were. And follow those up with the Arizonas, 24-knot fast ships. Nice, pretty good. And the North Dakotas, which were the same again, 2-knot slow, but with 2 extra 12-inch guns. And the Wyomings, which were the same again, but even slower. And the North Carolinas, which were 25-knot, 14-inch armed fast battleships. Then the New Jerseys, which were slower, but more heavily armed. And that's their latest. Then they have their battle cruisers. The Independences are a bit meh. Intrepid is actually a fairly powerful ship. Pretty well built for its era. The Franklin is, again, a very powerful ship. And then we have the Lexingtons, which are fast, powerful, well-built, very decent ships I'm happy to have alongside me. They have their new class of armoured cruisers, which I'm not too happy with. They're a little bit slow for my liking. And they have a few tranches of modern cruisers that they have built. They also have a full-on fleet carrier and 4 light carriers. I am fairly certain we're going to win this war. Especially if you consider that in the Far East, the Russians have 1 battleship, 2 armoured cruisers, 1 carrier, 2 things. I can actually... If I can crush the Russian Far Eastern fleet, we'll have a decent chance. But I also need to think. Right, so... With the war ongoing... No. Okay. Actually, let me check my armored cruiser design. I reckon I can get 9-inch guns on that. Yep, I absolutely can. And I want to be able to squeeze 32 knots out of it. I'm actually happy with that. In fact, I could probably get an even better and more efficient ship by actually just going for 2 9-inch triples. Which means I can then shrink it down again. In fact, actually, I could probably go for 8 guns with 2 quads. No, don't be greedy, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. That'll do. An enemy coastal raid. Luckily, my battle cruisers are in position to resist it. I don't think the enemy has battle cruisers in theatre, so we have an advantage. Although the problem is they can run if we don't find them. Hopefully, though, the airships will find them. I don't know if they will, though. We need to massively bulk up and expand the Air Force. One thing I've learned is that even in this period, before missiles, air power is very, very important. My Spain game taught me that. I've been neglecting it to help bulk up the surface fleet, but now that I'm into the late 20s, now the airfield construction is really going to get going. Pretty these guys weren't ready for the war with Japan. They could have really made a difference, but never mind. That's fine. It is what it is. We can't really help that. Can't really be helped, but hey-ho. The Russians have out here what they have out here. And, of course, the worst thing for the Russians will be if the French get pulled in by their alliance with the US. Which they may do. And at that point, the Russians are basically, you know, on their way towards death. Oh, Battery 9 is reporting being engaged. Battery 13. Battery 12. The airship base, Battery 11. They're all the way up there? Never get there in time. Still in this weather, they're not going to hit anything either. So good luck to them, that's what I say. It was a pair of light cruisers, I probably wouldn't caught them anyway, but it was technically still a win. The Russians, okay, the Russians are sinking our... Okay, that's fine. So bring those back into the fleet. That is very good. So we've got the new destroyers coming in. We've got the first of the carriers coming in. In 12 months, we'll have the 2 new battle cruisers. The Russian fleet only has 4 battle cruisers, and only 2 of them bother me. These 2. The others are not even a match for our older ships. So basically, they only have 2. These 2, with their 10 14-inch guns and 9.5 inches of belt armor, they are a threat. Well, to my current battle cruisers. They're not really a threat to the ships I've got coming into service. Right, in terms of... What would you give me for a modern battleship? That's... No, that's not really what I had in mind. And that's not it either. That's not it either. That's not it either. That's not it either. Actually, let me go to my American colleagues and ask what they would think. No. 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 It's all the same. I can't believe I'm saying this, but what would the Japanese create? All the very same. No. 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 Right. Okay. I think I do have something. So My next class of battleships should ideally be capable of about 20... So my cruisers can do 30 knots. But the speed of the battleship has definitely increased. Like, the speed of the battleship absolutely has increased, and so the speed of everything else should as well. Actually, with an inclined belt, I can probably get away with... nearly. So close. That's still 10 guns. Like, it does give me 6 guns firing forward, which is pretty good. Doesn't really give me enough over the preceding Dihuar class of battleship. Okay. So what if we upped the displacement, gave it a 3rd triple, put normal engines in, upped the belt armor a little bit, upped the deck armor a little bit. It's already bringing us close to actually, we need to be moving faster than that. That's the problem. Ah, well, it has belt extended, which it shouldn't do. And we also don't have all or nothing. There we go. That's probably why. There we go. Yeah, so that gives us the extra protection that we need to actually build this thing properly. 23 knots should be fine. Oh, yeah, broadside, submerged tubes, that's no good. We don't have any medium AA, so we should probably have that. About 16 guns of medium AA, and drop it down to 144 of light. Bring us down to 10 4-inch, just because we need to save a little bit of weight, and drop the displacement down to basically splinter proofing, and give me 4.5-inch on the turret roofs. Okay, that's fine. You know what? Fine. We will have 21 knots. But I'm turning this ship into a floating brick. Basically. This is a floating brick. It's not perfect, but it's definitely an improvement over the alternative. Right, an action with light forces. What an excellent idea. Oh, the Americans have showed up. Whee! I'll have another one of my 30-knot light cruisers. Sure, why not? Let us crush the enemies, because I know for a fact they can't be that strong. Is it some of their armoured cruisers? It might be. Nope, it's not. It's some of their protected crew. Oh, they're slow. They are slow. They've rebuilt one of them, but they're not capable of 30 knots. Especially not... Well, one of their ships is capable of 30 knots, but... The other one isn't. So... It's slowing them down. Come on. Jesus, that's a bloody 12-inch coastal battery. Christ on a bike. Stay clear of that. I've basically got to respect that, because that's a 12-inch coastal battery. Come on. Come here, you cheeky son of a bitch. Come and die. Oh, I know what I want out of this war. I want the southern port city back that the Russians own. Yeah, do not. I'm gonna jink and jive. You're not gonna torpedo me. Jink and jive, 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 jink and jive. Ah! We torpedoed them rather than them torpedoing us. That is aggressively funny. It is annoying that the Russian cruisers did get away, but never mind. We can't help that. There we go. Damn it. That is annoying. Really quite annoying. But hey-ho. It is what it is. It can't really be helped. Bloody Zeppelins. Still, we're not anywhere where air power is actually a serious threat. We're nearly there, but we're not quite there yet. It's technically a win, but I don't think we're going to break through the front. It is Russia. Oh! Okay. So we just regained one of our territories. Wow, we regained the one that we were going to take from Russia. Okay, I guess technically victory, question mark? So in a year we'll have our new battle cruisers, then our new carriers. And how long have we been going for? About 2.5 hours. Tell you what, we're going to leave that here for now. Thank you so much everybody for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed listening to me go on as much as I have enjoyed going on. When next we pick up next week, we will continue to carry the war to Russia. And hopefully this time we will achieve a great victory without any interference from Japan or France. Take care everyone, and I'll catch you all next